Thank you, Ashish, for your invitation.
This conference will now be recorded.
I'm very sad not to be with you in person, but we had our congress in Paris on happening surgery in elite athletes yesterday and the day before. So that's why we're doing this web presentation. First, perhaps it's easier to introduce the topic with a video. So it is a video recorded by Microsoft. Microsoft also, of course, as you know, has made and sells the HoloLens. The video is in French, but you've got subtitle in English. So let's start now.
Tu as une sorte de rectangle, d'accord? Et là, tu as le pilier latéral de l'omoplate.
C'est une opération délicate, la pose d'une prothèse d'épaule. Équipé d'un casque de réalité augmentée, le chirurgien attrape l'hologramme de la reconstruction en 3D de l'anatomie de son patient et le fait glisser sur la partie à opérer. Le corps du patient devient transparent.
On est au début d'une aventure qui a un vrai intérêt médical. Standardiser les interventions chirurgicales, diminuer le risque d'erreur médicale. C'est la grande innovation, c'est que le chirurgien n'est plus tout seul au bloc opératoire. Alors le 5 décembre, on a fait la première intervention de chirurgie de l'épaule. J'avais accès à l'imagerie, donc aux données du patient à la demande, tout en restant tout à fait stérile.
La problématique, c'est que les fichiers médicaux viennent des scanners et des IRM et que le poids informatique de ces fichiers est assez important, ce qui les rend inutilisables, bruts dans les lunettes. Comment est-ce qu'on va donner accès à cette image au chirurgien pendant qu'il opère?
Quand le docteur Gregory opère, les calculs sont faits sur Azure GPU. Là, le chargement est instantané puisque c'est directement dans le serveur. Il n'y a pas à transférer les données sur les lunettes. Le format, il reste dans le cloud, donc il n'y a pas de transcription d'image vers le support HoloLens. Du coup, on a facilité grandement un accès à ces données.
Le chirurgien peut communiquer avec quelqu'un qui est à l'extérieur du bloc opératoire, et cette personne qui est dans son bureau à l'extérieur du bloc opératoire peut voir exactement ce que voit le chirurgien, grâce aux deux caméras qui sont sur les lunettes, hologramme inclus, et pouvoir discuter, communiquer avec le chirurgien.
Avec la composante Microsoft HoloLens, je vais mettre un patient virtuel. C'est assez intuitif d'aller se déplacer autour de cet élément, de ce patient virtuel, de rentrer à l'intérieur quand je vais vouloir voir à l'intérieur du corps humain, et enfin de naviguer avec ses doigts pour aller simplement l'attraper, le déplacer.
Là, on est maintenant dans la chirurgie augmentée. Pendant l'acte chirurgical, je vois ce que mon œil ne peut pas voir. Donc actuellement, on peut voir le squelette grâce à ce système, et puis ensuite les muscles, les tendons, les nerfs, les artères, pour faire vraiment de la chirurgie mini-invasive, tout en optimisant le positionnement, enfin le résultat de la chirurgie. Pour le patient, ça amène une sécurité de la chirurgie qui est incroyable. Et moi, je peux imaginer l'année prochaine avoir un dispositif où, en tant que chef de service, je suis responsable des interventions qui se font au bloc opératoire à Avicenne. On a 3 salles opératoires. Eh bien, je peux avoir sur mon bureau une supervision de ces 3 salles opératoires. Il y a un dispositif de réalité augmentée que portent mes assistants et pouvoir, du coup, leur prodiguer des conseils à distance ou, au contraire, eux peuvent m'appeler, me dire, ben voilà, docteur Grégory, j'ai une difficulté là, qu'est-ce que vous en pensez? Je peux voir ce qu'ils voient, interagir avec eux, augmenter leur champ de vision par des hologrammes. C'est ça la sécurisation du vol chirurgical. Et c'est ça la grande révolution qu'amène cette technologie.
So, as you've seen, it's really the technology is entering into the theater. Let's start with the digital revolution. The digital revolution has changed our daily life. And as all revolution, it has not a linear development, but an exponential development. If we want to put a starting point, let's say in the 1980s, we had the first computer in most of the homes. And then there is a big boost, as you have realized, in the 2000s with internet. A new boost of the revolution is in 2007, just 1 decade ago, with the venue of the smartphone. Could you imagine yourself in the 2000s without the smartphone? The smartphone that completely changed in 10 years our daily life. And now, again, we are facing a new boost of this digital revolution with augmented reality, virtual reality, mixed reality. But mixed reality, as you will see later in this presentation, is mainly improved with artificial intelligence. So I want just to take a few slides to talk about artificial intelligence and the benefits in medicine. The common perception of artificial intelligence is either nasty robots killing gentle humans, or even worse, doctors' robots that will take our job. So keep calm, don't worry, we are a light year away from that. This is not that at all, artificial intelligence. The concept of artificial intelligence has been proposed in 1956 by a couple of US mathematicians. It's in fact the ability for a computer, an artificial intelligence computer, to perform a task from a stimuli. And one of these a mathematician, Arthur Samuel, in 1959, introduced the concept of machine learning. So the machine, the computer, knows and can learn from his mistakes. And a couple of years later, in 1978, for the first time, computer gains against a chess master. But the real boost of artificial intelligence came from the work of a French mathematician, Yann LeCun, in the 1990s. So now, Yann LeCun, I don't know if you have heard about his name, but he's at the head of the artificial intelligence branch of Facebook. He utilized a hierarchical level of artificial neural network, a little bit like the human brain, to carry out the process of machine learning. So each level learns to transform inputs data into a slightly more abstract and composite representation. So each successful layer uses the output from the previous layer input. So the algorithm can deal with much complex data and much numerous data. And the ability of a large amount of labeled data, as well as GPU, which can process this data in parallel at high speeds, enable this model to be much faster. So it looks a little bit abstract. Let's give a concrete example. For instance, the algorithm from multiple images taken on the web can realize and detect a shape. And then, with statistical analysis, he understands that this shape is correlated with the term cat. So, the algorithm knows that this shape is a cat. It is as simple as that. So, right now, what can artificial intelligence do? It can do oral recognition or image recognition, and then it can do safer cars or autonomous cars, because then you've got artificial intelligence sensors that know how to apprehend the surrounding. Could be adequate language translation, that could be useful, mainly for the French. Useful but stupid chatbots, and we will talk about that. Information search, retrieval, filtering, and it has numerous applications. Because on the computer now can detect a shape with less error than the human brain. It has been proven. So in medicine, there is direct application. Vector recognition of medical image. So will artificial intelligence replace the radiologist? We don't know. The another application is what is so-called personal medicine. So complex algorithm can detect and deal with multiple data of each patient, from the genomic cards, from the radiology, from the data sets, and then predict the best treatment for each individual patient in his environment. But what cannot do artificial intelligence, and this is very important, machine with common sense. So humanoid robots, no. Why? It's not a problem with the mathematics and the ability for the algorithm to deal with multiple data. It's a mathematical issue. Mathematicians don't know yet how to create and to develop artificial general intelligence. However, it's for sure that digital technology will transform medicine. And this is presentation, a classification of the benefit of artificial medicine in technology in medicine. I have proposed, and I'm currently on the way to publish. There is 5 fields. You've got telemedicine, personalized care, and that's directly linked with software of artificial intelligence. And there are 3 other areas: augmented patients, so the ability for the technology to fulfill disease of organs. I'm sure you've heard about the artificial heart, and for us, upper limb surgeon, it's the prosthesis of the upper limb, the prosthesis of Star Wars, simulation, and augmented surgeon, and we will talk mainly about that. And it's indirectly linked with artificial intelligence because in those 3 areas will be used technology full of artificial intelligence sensors. So let's go back to our current practice. What is the goal for us? What would be the most incredible thing we could have? The ability to see through the skin of our patient. So there are multiple systems, and the most well-known of those are PSIs with pre-op planification or navigation. Of course, it's cost-related, and even it has proved its accuracy, the cost limits the widespread of those technologies. In 2017, Microsoft has proposed the concept of mixed reality and developed a headset called HoloLens. So what is this headset? In fact, it's not just glasses. It's a real computer with camera, but also full of artificial intelligence sensors. So instead of interacting with your computer with a dashboard or a mouse, you can interact with your computer, with your glass, with oral commands or gesture seen by the camera of the system. There is another fantastic tool, which is mapping sensors. So the computer knows anytime where it is in his surroundings. You know where is the floor, where are the walls, where is the roof, where is the desk, and so on. So he can place holograms, so virtual 3D image in a real surrounding. Of course, there is another advantage of the system, is those virtual image, those holograms, can be shared in between people wearing their HoloLens. So of course, we found that fantastic, and it could be lots of help, because if you've got a computer on your head while performing the surgery, and if you can interact with your computer with just oral command or simple gesture, you can remain completely sterile. And probably it would help with the surgery. And that's what we did 1 year ago, a little bit more now. And it has been published recently in Acta Orthopedica Journal. Let's see some more image. So, I don't know if you can see. Sorry. Yeah. We'll try once again. Yeah. So, during the surgery, I was wearing the headset, and that's what I can see on my headset. So, I can open a folder, have access to the packs of my hospital, download the 3D image of the scapula of the patient that will appear here, and through a platform, still with gesture, simple gesture, I can interact with my 3D reconstruction of the scapula of my patient. I can drag it and place it wherever I want in the operative field. It's 100% the scale, so the image. So it's a real size of the patient. But if I want to increase it, I can. If I want to enter in the model to see what is behind the glenoid, I can. If I want to see the glenoid vault, joining the foot of the coracoid on the lateral border of the scapula, I can. And I can, of course, place it so that what I can see of the glenoid corresponds to the corresponding part of the hologram. And I was able to have the operative technique developed by Evolutis in 3D on the reconstruction of the patient, and I can also interact with the surgeon, and I was interacting with colleagues in the US, UK, and South Korea. So the proof of concept was, yes, this could be really of help. Of course, there are plenty of other applications, and we are working with Evolutis on application on knee and hip. This is a small video that was captured at the SAICOT meeting in Montreal, Canada, a couple of months ago. So this is a planification of the hip arthroplasty with through an anterior approach, and you can have all the technique developed on holograms. And the goal, of course, is to mix this technique on the anatomy of the patient and to be able to drag it and to overlay this 3D anatomy of the patient plus the technique on the real patient. Another application that was presented yesterday was a fixation of a scaphoid fracture with holographic guidance. So we did the planning of the optimal position of our key wires and then our screw on the scaphoid. Then we extract the 3D image through Osiris. On a CT scan, you've got the bone, but you've got also the skin. The transfer of all the data on the HoloLens, and in order to have created also a phantom to guide our key wire and subsequently our screw. And then in the cadaver lab, you can see on the computer what I'm seeing in my glasses with a little bit of lag, 1 second of lag. That's why between the gesture and what you can see there is a small lag. So that's the 3D model of the skin of the wrist of the patient. I can interact and place it in the good position. manually drag it so that the contour of the image of the skin of the patient corresponds to the real skin of the patient. Here it is. And once you've decided this is the good position based on the contour of the skin, then what you will do is you will skip to see the bone. So you register the position of the bone according to this registration on the skin. Up, and here it is. You can see the bone of the patient with all the carpal bone, and if you look carefully, you will see a green line. That is the phantom, the holographic phantom of the position of the key wire, of the optimal position of the key wire. And then you overimpose your key wire on this holographic phantom to give the drilling of your key wire in the optimal position of your scaphoid. So that's the results of this small series, and we had 20% less of fluoroscopic shot, 26% less of irradiation, 30% less of number of attempts, and 20% less for the duration of the procedure. So, of course, there is still some issue to solve. First issue is to be able to calibrate, not manually, but with the sensors, the mapping sensors of HoloLens. And we're working with Microsoft to perform that. There is some technique, and I think we will overcome this issue soon. The other thing is, of course, to develop the platform that will mix the 3D image of the patient, the planning of what you want to perform, and an automatic access on your HoloLens, and we're working with Evolitis to perform that. The idea, of course, is to perform very soon something with Ashish and you in India. So, in conclusion, don't worry, artificial intelligence will not create humanoid doctors. But if artificial intelligence will not replace surgeons, surgeons who are artificially intelligent equipment might replace those who don't. And what is fantastic is right now we are facing an exhilarating crossroad, and we have an incredible opportunity to transform our specialty. This matter has been done before. To conclude, don't worry, as an orthopedic surgeon, you will always have something to bang on. And thank you very much for your kind invitation.